a tribute to Walter Payton.
Sad day in our town today as the Bears' 1985 Super Bowl championship team is reunited to say goodbye to the man we all know as Sweetness.
I believe Mr. Hallis has him up in heaven right now, and he finally got the last piece of the puzzle, and he's got the greatest Bear of all time.
Good evening and welcome back. I'm Walter Jacobson.
And I'm Robin Robinson. He was certainly an amazing athlete. He was also a prankster, a man with a big heart and a big smile who loved to laugh. But perhaps Walter Payton might want to be remembered best as a devoted husband and father.
So tonight, for the next 30 minutes, we'll pay tribute to Walter Payton, his life and his legacy. And throughout our special coverage, we'll be joined, of course, by Corey McFerrin, who attended today's private services.
Very emotional, it was just incredible to be there and witness it and listen to all these marvelous people who were so close to Walter. I got to tell you, it was just an experience I will never forget.
It's not all tearful, though.
Not all tearful. A lot of it very, very uplifting and funny. A lot of laughter as well.
Like that.
It was really like some sort of a Bears reunion today. I mean, guys like George Connor to Gale Sayers to Dan Hampton to Big Cat Williams, all eras represented. They came early to support one another. They stayed afterwards to talk, to reflect, to share their memories of the man we call Sweetness.
I think Walter Payton was the greatest football player that ever lived. I think when you think of everything that a football player has to be, he was that. And, you know, a running back that has to run and throw and catch and block and tackle. And, you know, he did all those things better than anyone else has ever done them.
John Madden, you know, he had some great stories about, you know, when Walter wanted to have him on the fishing show and found out the only reason was Walter wanted to take him out in the middle of the lake and throw him in. That was pretty funny, and Walter's brother was great, you know, how he always got mistaken for Walter and took full advantage of that when he could. So it was a great service. I mean, there were some you know, fantastic stories and great speakers, and it was a beautiful way to remember Walter.
I think the motivation and the attitude that he had, and you know, the drive that came from inside of Walter Payton to be the best and to be great, and then the same type of drive to deal with people and bring people together and help people who were not, you know, quite as well off as he was. And I said to his wife that his legacy is going to be that for decades to come, people are going to be remembering Walter Payton's qualities and trying to imitate them.
I just remember sitting back and thinking about all the things that he's done, all the great things, and to hear about him. People talk about them being rookies and him lighting firecrackers and things like that. I mean, that's what football's supposed to be about. It's supposed to, I mean, granted it's a job, but it's supposed to go out there and you're supposed to have fun doing it. And he was somebody that really enjoyed doing it.
I believe that he affected so many people in a positive way, not only through his athletic prowess, but through his generosity for the way he lived his life. He was a compassionate, loving, caring, sharing individual. And I think when you think about that, you got to celebrate a person's life. Yeah, it isn't fair, gang. 45 years on this earth, you should be in the prime of your life. It isn't fair. But I think he warns us all that we're not promised tomorrow.
He brought a great leadership, a great unspoken leadership most of the time. He led by example, in which a lot of us would want to lead our lives by example, not just the hurrah, hurrah, but lead by example on and off the field. And he was just an incredible guy. He was someone that I called a friend and that I spoke to and I looked up to a great deal when I came here, and even just recently this year. And we had some great times together, and the memories are just amazing.
That was shared, the stories, the memories, I mean, things that we all hold on to. You know, the only thing I can think of is when I first got here, Walter was one of the first people to embrace me and kind of show me the ropes and kind of instill some things that I kind of applied to my life today. And that's exactly what happened inside there. It was a testimony just not about football, it was just about life.
Walter was an inspiration to me personally. He took time out, even though I was a kicker. He always let me know his touchdowns weren't finished until I went out there and made the extra point. And he made it a point to to let me know he cared about that one little play, and that meant a lot to me. And it's just kind of hard to believe that he's not here because he is such a big part of our life. We took him for granted, but few people come around and come through our lives with the impact Walter has made, and it's something that'll stay with me and my family the rest of our life.
It's a photograph that hangs in the great room at the Payton House in South Barrington. It's taken obviously 16, 17 years ago, probably something like that. And the thing that strikes me most about what we heard today, and really what we've heard all week long, is yes, incredible football player, Mike Ditka, John Madden. You heard them talk about him. John Madden calls him, or Mike Ditka calls him as well, the greatest football player ever. But really and truly what you heard most about was about, you know, how he cared about everybody, how he played the tricks on them, how he helped them out when they were a rookie, how he helped Kevin Butler even though he was just a kicker, and that he was always there for you. And no matter how big he got, he never forgot the regular guy.
Because you don't have this kind of outpouring for someone who just happened to be very good at their job.
I don't think so.
That's not.
There's more to it, and that to me is the best tribute of all, that we're not just talking about a football player here.
Yeah.
You know.
Thank you, Corey.
And we all will get a chance to say goodbye to Walter Payton tomorrow when a memorial service is held at Soldier Field.
Today, crews were busy putting the final touches on the field. That includes renumbering the 30-yard line. It is now the 34-yard line in honor of Walter. If you plan on attending, here's what you need to know. The service does begin at noon, though I believe doors will open at Soldier Field at 10 o'clock. Admission is free. It's going to cost you $7 to park, but all of that money goes to charity. Parking lots will open at 8 a.m. The gates, as I said, will open at 10. Everyone who attends is asked to bring an unwrapped new toy for the Walter Payton Christmas giveaway. His legacy lives on. And if you're not able to attend the Payton Memorial tomorrow, we do invite you to tune in to Top Fox News.
We will carry the ceremony live. Our special coverage will begin at 11:30 in the morning, 1/2 hour before the actual memorial begins. When we come back here in just a minute, we'll be joined in our newsroom by two of Payton's former teammates, Gary Fensick and our own Dan Jiggets.
They're going to share their personal stories about the man they called a friend. We'll be right back.
A tribute to Walter Payton will continue after these messages.
In life, he was a shining star, and so tonight, a shining salute to our number 34. This, in your view now, is the Blue Cross Blue Shield building at 300 East Randolph in downtown Chicago. Welcome back as we continue our special tribute to Walter Payton.
For the next few minutes, we're going to turn things over to Corey, who is standing by on the set of Bears Sunday Live with Dan Jiggets and Gary Fensick. Gentlemen?
Okay, Robin. Fellas, you knew this guy as well as anybody in Chicago, both of you. I just wondered, as you watched and listened to the talks today, the tributes to Walter, Dan, for you, what struck home? What do you walk away with after being through that service today?
Well, I think the whole service kind of embodied what Walter was all about, from the serious in approaching something like death to people talking about how he played tricks on everybody and how he lived his life. You know, full speed. Granted, he only lived 45 years, but I think it's more like 90 compacted into 45, because he never left a stone unturned, and he always had fun and always had that wonderful smile to carry you along the way.
Gary, it was almost a feeling of a reunion there today, with so many different eras of the Bears represented. I mean, obviously, you didn't want to be there for a funeral of anybody you knew, but at the same time, there was this sense of tradition that existed today that you could really feel.
Well, I thought the Bears did a wonderful job, the Bears organization, in helping Connie and the family. And it really was a celebration. You know, Steve Schubert, who played in the 70s, to the Buffon. I saw Wilbur Marshall. We're talking about L.A. Mike Richardson. And it's a shame that it took Walter's death and a funeral to bring us all together. But I do think that one of the things that Mike Singletary talked about was, you know, just celebrate Walter's life, the fun part, the seriousness. Call a friend, visit someone in the hospital, love somebody back.
Just reminds you, you know, we shouldn't wait until it's over to reach out and tell somebody what we feel, right?
And that was the promise everybody was making to
Exactly.
one another tonight. And I tell you what, there's so many fitting things that happened tonight. We were taking pictures, group pictures.
Now, who all was involved here? Just a bunch of guys, bunch of Bears?
Probably 25, 30 guys, all jumping, you know, to get into this picture. And who jumps in front just like his dad is Jared Payton, and he poses, real great. Yeah,
it looked like a Heisman Trophy pose.
Well, he may get there in a couple of years, guys. Who knows?
The most appropriate thing that happened in the celebration that we had at the Hyatt out in Schaumburg was at the end, when there were probably about 10 people left. We're all kind of sitting around telling lies and jokes and everything else. And who walks in right before everybody was to leave but Ricky Watts? Now, anybody that knew Ricky Watts when he played with us knew that he was always the last guy and he was always late. So I know Walt had the biggest laugh off of that.
Listen, I wanted to bring up another point today. We talked to the commissioner, Paul Tagliabue, after the service today, and he indicated that the league is considering naming the NFL Man of the Year award, their Community Service Award, after Walter, and that obviously would be a fitting tribute. And also, John Madden today revealed he's got an idea too, and I thought you guys might want to hear this.
I'm going to suggest to Commissioner Tagliabue that that they make up a book and a video, and kind of to be like Walter, and give it to every player when they come in the league. You know, how to act like a pro, how to play like a pro, how to act off the field like a pro. When you retire, how to give to a community and be part of a community, and everything that he did. I would like to see the league do that and give it forever to every player that ever comes into the league.
What a legacy that would be, huh?
Well, and a well-deserved one. You know, it was wonderful to see John Madden there. He's a very gifted speaker. Obviously, Walter meant a lot to his life, and you know, he told some great stories. I mean, you know, again, there were a lot of good stories, but talking about how Walter was a great blocker, obviously a great runner. But I think one of the things he said that really cracked everyone up is that on the interception that happened a lot in the 70s, he always made the tackle. And you know what? He did.
He's got like 18 tackles to his credit, right?
That's right.
I was sitting next to Bob Avellini. He kind of went like this.
A lot of practice there in the 70s.
And Eddie Payton was absolutely great. And following the story about how he posed as his brother one time when he got a tank full of gas down in rural Mississippi as he's on a recruiting trip. Some wonderful, wonderful things.
It sure was. And we're going to have more stories and more memories of Walter Payton after we take time for one quick break. So stay where you are, please.
A tribute to Walter Payton will continue after these messages.